Hi, I'm Tyler Stevenson here with women's soccer head coach Jason Bird. Jason, thanks for joining us.
Thanks, appreciate it.
Yeah, that's good. So we're talking about the schedule release today. So open up with Northern Kentucky on the road, Horizon League, one of the 4 Horizon League teams you will face as long as 3 MAC schools. So just talk about the quality competition there and what was your reason behind scheduling so many schools from those conferences.
Well, I think first and foremost, I want to apologize to our fans and our supporters. We were actually supposed to have 3 games that are not on the 2015 schedule that were originally on the schedule, and 2 of those were actually supposed to be home games. So, I know we'll talk about our road swings later on, but it's unfortunate that we lost a couple of returning trips back here to IPFW to Fort Wayne, and so it's too bad for our fans and our supporters. But one of the things that we really wanted to do is we wanted to replace those games with games that we felt like were going to be very competitive for us, but at the same time not put us at a severe disadvantage when it comes to travel and things of that nature. So we've got some relationships with some of the Horizon League schools through my time at other schools and through the past year that I've been here at Fort Wayne. And so that was really a big part of it. A big component was just trying to keep ourselves within the region as much as possible and give ourselves as competitive a schedule as we possibly could.
Yeah, and talk about that road trip you're talking about too. You'll only be home one time from September 1st to October 11th, so kind of how's that going to play on the minds of the girls as they try to prepare for that mentally?
It's something that I think we, over the past year, have really been trying to work with the girls on preparing for. We saw it kind of developing as we went through the end of the fall and into the spring that we were going to have these big 2 severe road trips going into the fall. And so it was something that we challenged our players, probably without a lot of their knowledge most of the time, just having them deal with adversity and trying to deal with things that maybe they weren't expecting to come up and pop up on them. So there were days where we might have told them they were going to have a light day at training and it turned into a heavy day, or we were going to have a day off and it turned into a day that we were going to train. And so there were a lot of different things that we tried to do to help maximize our girls' ability to deal with that adversity, because when you're on the road, things are going to happen and you never really know from a day-to-day perspective. You can't plan things out like you can at home and have a nice restricted schedule on everything that's going to go on hour by hour, day by day. And so that's something that we really wanted to make sure that our girls were prepared for, knowing that there was going to be some adversity. There was going to be a long haul where we're on the road and we're going to have to eat at restaurants and stay at hotels and do all these different things. And I think the girls responded well to the adversity that we put them through, especially during the spring season. And hopefully that'll help us adjust and be prepared for those 2 long road swings in the fall.
Yeah, and transitioning over the league play now, you open up on that second to last road trip on the road against Western Illinois and IPFW before getting a nice 3-game home stretch there, and then going back out to the Dakotas, having to take on South Dakota State in the last road game. So just kind of talk about the conference schedule and how that played out for you.
Well, it actually worked out really well, considering that it would have been nice to open up at home. Obviously, everyone wants to play at home, but the fact that we're opening up on the road with our 2 closest opponents really worked out for the schedule that we do have in the fall, knowing that we're going to be on the road as much as we are. So the fact that we don't have to take a trip to one of the furthest schools is a really nice thing for us in that first weekend. Now, those are both obviously, and every game is going to be tough, but because those are our 2 closest schools and the ones that we seem to battle with pretty hard, it's going to be 2 interesting games to start the conference season off with, but 2 very competitive games, I think, and 2 very competitive opponents. So that's nice. That's how we're opening up. And then obviously to be able to follow that up with a 3-game homestand is going to be really nice for us before we have to take that long trip up to the Dakotas to play North Dakota State and South Dakota State. So I think it plays into our favor, honestly, with the way that it's set up based on the way the non-conference schedule is as well. But we know that after having gone through it for a year with the team last year, we know that every game is going to be competitive, and whether you're at home or on the road, every game is going to be one that's going to be hard fought and going to be a battle.
And then looking forward to the return trip out to South Dakota State too for the conference tournament right after that. So.
I think that's going to be one of the nice things, that we have one game at home after we play South Dakota State against South Dakota, and then hopefully we do well enough that we're able to make it to the conference tournament and go right back up to South Dakota State. The fact that we will have just played on their field a week before basically the conference tournament is going to start, I think will really help us prepare, because we're going to know what the field is going to be like late in the season. And obviously the further north you go and the closer to Canada you get, the tougher the weather is going to be as you get closer to the winter. And for us, I think that'll be great preparation, the fact that we're not playing them earlier on in the season, but the fact that we're going to know what the surface is going to be like, what the weather is going to be like. I think that really could help us prepare for success if we're fortunate enough to make it to the conference tournament.
Yeah. Thanks for joining us, Jason.
No problem. Thank you very much.
For head coach Jason Bird, I'm Tyler Stevenson.
Go Dons.